It's time. Oh, I'm not wearing pants. Oh no, this was a terrible mistake. That was terrible. I'm glad the camera was raised up a little bit. That was terrible. Oh no. That would have been the worst way to start a day Anyway, it was been such a good morning. And then this happens? This happens? No, not like this. Not like this. Not like this. No, we can't be starting that way already. That's crazy. We barely even began. Stream has not even begun. Philosofur, show some decorum. Yeah, we're ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. So then, we shall not waste a moment. We've got 1 hour. About the 15. We've got 1 hour, and then like 3 minutes, because the stream was loading for 3 minutes. Thank you very much. We don't have too much time, though. That is not very much time, and sometimes I accidentally squander this good time. That's not quite the right language to use, I don't think, because I know there's the potential for this time. That's why I make this time, and it means so much to me. I look down and look at me go, baby. This is a very important time for all of us, I assure you. But I have a hard time recognizing what it's for. So then I have a really hard time coming in with it with like ready to go, because without appropriate objective or mission statement, oh, we've got some intent for this one. This is an intentful one. Because yesterday went so gosh darn well, and that gives thoughts, especially late last night went very well. We had a long, good quasi-pseudo, it wasn't even quasi-pseudo, it was just a philosophical chat yesterday in a world in Resonite called Sound Egg, and we just popped on a few different albums and listened to music and talked about the way of things. I was talking with a new friend, Sonico, called Soko for short. Excellent conversation. And then you had Red and Spobe showed up, and then the lovely Fish, of course, and then a few other people I didn't know. Palpatine, who's quiet, but kind of started the whole thing, because I just logged into Resonite, wasn't sure what to do. Palpatine joined on me. We talked a little bit, and I was like, I want to talk more about these quasi-little philosophical gems I've had, because I usually talk one-sided. You are the side, and I am the other side, and the camera is in between, and that's usually how I talk. And so I felt like, well, I want to talk to people instead this time. It was wild. And then I did Sound Egg, Sonico joined on me, and then Palpatine joined, and then all the other people joined. And then a few randos as well who just joined on random. And we just had a really great chat for several... What on earth happened? For the audio inclined, I just spun around like a madman. My trackers are not always the most happy these days. It was a lovely time. And it helped me frame a little bit more about what it is that I do desire to do. Bear with me a second. Because what we've done so far is I came in loaded, ready to go. Here's some words. Did you want any of those? Full blast. And sometimes I like that. Sometimes I listen to one of those and I think, who does this guy think he is? Or something along those lines. And I don't actually have all that much to say all of the time. I don't know. But I also streams which look or are the same, and I'll be deeply pleased. And it has to be that situation where I know what went into a stream, what the inner mentalities were, so I can see, did the result of my mentality measure up? But the streams are being pretty consistent. I like to think, and they all, come and go. A few times ago, we did a weird one, and then we did a few, it's just, we're learning and honing the formula, but broadly speaking, we are painting with the colors of Philosofur, to use a metaphor which I don't actually even agree with, but that's what's taking place right now. Because the intent with which I approach these daily addresses is solidifying. Because there's an opposite angle to it as well, where I just like being a cat. And that's one of the threads we've gone on recently. I remove the camera down a little bit so I can step back and do a little bit more dance. Not a lot, but a little bit. And we'll probably get to the Resonite stream where I was doing this much more freely and confidently, and I really think that there's something to that. The bonus stream I did yesterday, we uncovered some really fantastic stuff, baby. So sometimes I love the streams where I was myself. Other times I love the streams where I was really thoughtful And I think most of all, I like the streams that are a bit of everything. You get a bit of everything in your Phineas Former stream. It wasn't like a philosophical stream yesterday, but like the daily address and the bonus stream yesterday were not specifically philosophical, but they did hit on moments I thoroughly enjoyed. But they also started off with moments I thoroughly enjoyed. So a bit of everything, that's what's called for. And I realize I also am a bit of everything. NV, welcome on in. And what I've lighted on is a mentality that I think might be good and perhaps obvious to some of us out there. But for me, it's a game changer, and it's what we're going to be cooking on for parts of the stream. This is the experiment of today's stream. I like when we run little experiments on our streams, and the one we have now is the following mentality, which I think will prove to yield tremendous benefit. I think we're onto something here. So if I have a live stream where I am strictly speaking myself, kitty cat go baba 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 about whatever, and talk about whatever, and be whatever, and that's fine because I'm expressing just my whatever, and I am on occasion a creature of strict whatever. And those are kind of the streams where I'll focus on like my visage, and I look down and I remind myself every 15 minutes, oh wow, I'm a cat, look at me go. And then I just keep saying that as though to reinforce myself, oh wow, he really wants to convince himself he's a cat because I say it so much. But it's also something I want to try and be grateful for, because what I'm doing fundamentally is one of the most cool things on planet Earth. It's something I've strived to do for years upon years upon years. I wanted so badly to be here, and now I'm here, and I was like, that's not enough. And I was like, no, just being here is enough. So sometimes on my daily addresses, literally only the daily address is its own objective, and that's fine. That's just a raw expression of cat. That's fine. Sometimes I like those streams, sometimes I find them to be wanting. Other times, I'll come in with so much drive, a little bit like today I have a good amount of drive, and we just started, baby. That's fine also. But wherein is there room for just the kitty cat, let's be a little bit chill, let's just be Phineas Former, baby, let's look around and be me, and be excited that this is what I look like when I'm giving a daily address. How marvelous. And sometimes if I have too much passion, too much direction with what it is that I want to say and present to you good people at home, that gets lost a little bit. Here's the thing. It could be, I am neither myself nor a quasi-pseudo wannabe philosopher cat. I am myself who is a quasi-pseudo wannabe philosopher cat. Whoa. This mentality I light upon is obvious. Most correlated with sexuality. I never identified as a gay person. I tried briefly for like 1 month. I was like super gay. I went to gay club. I went to the gay meetups. I tried getting the gay friends. And it's just, once some part of a person is what one tries to identify with, and that's what bonds you together, once you broach outside of that, I didn't have anything in common with these people except for we were all trying really hard to be gay. And I just was Phineas, who happens to be gay. That's not me. I was able to figure that one out pretty swiftly in my life. And yeah, I felt extremely alone being gay and not having decidedly gay friends or going to the gay places. But that wasn't within my natural tendencies. And I had to pay respect to that. Sexuality be damned. That didn't have anything to do with any of it. It was just still me fundamentally. And sexuality is like part of the equation. There's a chance I just pieced together recently with the help of friends in a fun music world in Resonate that, as far as being like a weird philosopher cat wannabe thing, same thing. Same thing. That's not a big deal. Okay. Sure. And trying to force in, what is this, a daily address, trying to force in philosophies to one of my daily addresses does not feel correct. And for a time I haven't understood that, because quasi-pseudo wannabe philosophies are deep within my soul. It is all that I am, it's all I think about all of the time. I love them so much. Keeping that in mind is when I would try like, well, I'm going to do daily streams, I'm going to be Philosopher Cat, wahoo! And sometimes I hate those because sometimes I don't want to be Philosopher Cat all the time. It's not who I am. But I've known it's such a big part of me that I would try to project out that part of me because it was one of the clues of who I am, and it feels good to feel like you know more about who you are than you do. As it turns out, taking the break, like taking off the gas a little bit from the whole Philosopher cat wannabe angle, and just being me. Cool. Not a big deal. But allowing myself, from within the frame of reference of me, to also express myself as a quasi-pseudo wannabe Philosopher cat, I think you're onto something there. That's the general theming of today's stream. That's what we're going to try and cook upon. Because I have a lot of little pockets I want to get to. And we've got questions of identity on the way, because Soko plays his character firmly. And I've always had questions about people who like make little chirpy sounds in VR. And it's like, you're really leaning into this, aren't you? And I always come at this from the lens of I'm standoffish and uncomfortable because that's how I am as a human. And so for someone to be so leaning in and comfortable in their virtual form was a marvelous conversation. But at that point, it's just a skin that you wear, and so too do you wear skin inside of your meat vessel. And if you're putting on a performance in virtual reality, the operator is reality there, and you put on a performance every day you go to work. When you put on a mask to friends when you're in a bad mood, that's a performance. So too is chirping in VR a performance. We had that conversation last night, and it was marvelous. And the key point, I want to go there, from there, is... We'll get there. We're going to pop to a different side of the world. We're going to like Baba Baba for a second. Good things are on the way. We're going to pop over. We're going to take a second to just float about because I came in with some fire. We came in hot on this one, and now we're gonna cool it down because we can't just be high energy all the time. We can't just be Phineas forever. Are you kidding me? I can't handle that. It is one of my daily addresses though. And one of the other things I lit upon is moving around as a kitty cat. Felt kind of nice yesterday. I don't know if we'll do that so much this time, but I do value like deflating a little bit, and then we'll reinflate and talk about something different here on this daily address, which we still have 3/4 of daily address to go. Yes. Aha. So we are gonna go live that life. Huh. Okay, you know what, Extreme Goth, that is absolutely fair. That is a good reason to realize that you are, in fact, gay. I realized when I fell head over heels in love with a boy, in high school times, or no, right out of high school, and I had to reconsider a few things because I fell head over heels in love with a boy. I was like, oh, wait, what? Huh. And then that set me on a quest which hasn't ended yet. It's led to a lot of things in life, and now I'm a VTubing cat, so something went wrong. Something down the line went wrong. Very, very wrong. Very, very wrong. Alright, I got a really dumb idea. I don't know how long it's going to last for, but I know the world we're going to go to, and I know what we're going to do with it, and it's not what you're supposed to do with this world. Because, as we know, I am a quasi-pseudo wannabe philosopher cat, and we're leaning into that. This is Photography Island, and it has multiple hallways for the audio inclined. I'm just running through and giving a brief tour of this world, and it's great for pictures, because you've got lots of backgrounds. You have nature backgrounds, anime backgrounds, cool meme-ish backgrounds or whatever, so you can go and just choose your background and take pictures. Or I've filmed videos here before, back when I was still learning more about what this formula needed to be, broadly speaking. I would go to a different background, so every video was distinctly unique, but I was filming it all together. Effectively this, but this is just a live presentation. I'm less worried about it, and the more chill I get with the things that I do while I still decide to do them, the happier I tend to get, so I'm pursuing that line a little bit more, and it's so far so good. We're here again, but not to manufacture backgrounds, because the new theme of the stream, at least for this moment, is the artificiality of man. Aha! Because we're going to go to a background. This one seems pretty cool, and it seems like Pokemon, maybe. So we're not going to do the background, though. Our framing is meant to illustrate, yes, largely Pokemon background, and look at how artificial it is. So That's what we're doing. If we get some perspective art going on, hoo boy. Hoo boy. Someone stop me. That's what we have. That's what we have today. It means something. And these are actually the billboard of the eyes of Great Gatsby. And it's like, wow, what do the eyes mean? It's like, wow, he filmed a video in this world, but he also displayed the world outside of the world. What's that about? Because he was so close to a really good framing of video, he chose the outside framing of the video, which is the framing of the video. Oh no. Ah, I'm so smart. Just kidding. Just kidding. And some of what did take place yesterday was having a conversation with someone in Resonite who does cool things, and learning more about what that conversation looks like, and it was filmed offline. I normally do not do things offline in Resonite, hardly ever, honestly. I just love having my camera so much. Because I love my words so much, this is a platform on which to use my words and drink coffee. I love being a cat. Anyway. So. We're gonna sit on the floor. Why do I stream at 8 a.m.? I don't know. I do know. It's just the time slot that works, basically. Yeah, so I stream early in the mornings. Wahoo. Because that's what works consistently. There's a lot of things that go into that. It started off because in the mornings I knew I would be quite distressed waking up without spec, and it came true. And I needed some reason to get out of bed because I would otherwise just become a terrible burrito of blankets forever and watch movies on my laptop and cry. So streaming in the mornings was like, okay, nope, get out, you're doing the thing, you are doing the thing, come on, buddy. And I hated it, but loved it, but hated it for a while, and now it's just the thing that I do. And I don't even cry anymore because I miss him, I just kind of get happy because I get to see him for forever, basically. So it became habit more than anything. Basically, I needed a guaranteed schedule, and the best way to secure that was to, at work, have every morning free, open myself up to closes because the closing schedule is kind of erratic, and it would be harder to say, every stream, I'm going to stream at 8 o'clock, and then streaming at the end of a work day, that's dodgy anyway, because if work goes terrible, I have a hard time coming back from that. And then sometimes I want to come home and shower, or stop off somewhere, say hi to a friend after work. I don't know what's going to happen at the end of a day, but in the beginning of a day when I'm free to shape it the way that I choose, that's when I can find more consistency, I find. It backfired a little bit, and I realize now that in the evenings I do tend to have enough free time that I could stream if I chose to, and there's no reason I have to only do one stream in a day. That's something I might open myself up to, but right now it's just still, I need to be really careful with how I allot my time for my daily addresses and my streams in general. That's why my bonus stream yesterday was so much fun. I recognize this is quite early, and if I streamed for longer also, then when someone finds me, then they watch for longer, so then I have more view counts, so then more people find me, and then I'm streaming more when more people are leaving. Like, there's a whole industry, and streaming later would absolutely be more viable. It just, you know, there's factors that go into that, and it's more about learning to stream right now, and what consistency looks like, and what I need from the experience. And then we can grow it after I know those things. And we're not worried about it right now, which is hard because you love when the number goes up and you get a new follower. You're like, oh, welcome on in. But it's been really good going for consistency even at a time slot where there's not as many views and stuff because there's other things afoot. Up to and including tons of VR time, and it was really cool doing some of that on my day off. Bonus! Super bonus! I streamed twice, and then I got back into VR for a third time. And that's when we did the music thing, and that was a lot of fun too. And that's a little bit when I lighted upon taking myself a little less seriously, but then I don't know what that means for the daily addresses because I'm here And it was really fun kind of moderating a conversation. And there was a few times there were some people who were awfully quiet, and I kind of said, like, what did you have thoughts about that? And then at the end, my favorite part of it, it was so good. I went through and I said, I have to be done soon, because it was just super duper bedtime. Plus my wine was all gone, so but mainly it was just bedtime. And because we had had a good conversation, but the long one that sprawled, and we talked a little bit about identity and how VR for some people operates as a switch, and you get right into a mentality. And I said, I don't really agree with that, but then I said, actually, when I get in, the only thing I want to do is spawn out a camera every single time. And that's kind of a switch too. In the real world, I don't want to spawn out a camera, but I'm in VR and I just gotta have a camera. And I was in one world with Eclipse, my friend Eclipse. And I asked if anyone had a really performant camera, because there's a lot of times I want to take a quick photo and I don't want to spawn out the whole thing. And so I did, and then Eclipse comes over and is like, oh no, someone gave Phineas a camera. Because Eclipse knows. Eclipse knows. I love it. I love it so much. It's all I want to do. It's my favorite thing. Which is a switch that flips when I become Phineas Former and put on the VR gear. And that's one of the many things that we talked about on that philosophy little moment we had last night in the World Sound Egg in Resonite. It was a wonderful time. At the close of the night, because also we bounced around and talked about the YouTube algorithm, and Red, bless his heart, loves Resonite so much, and was talking about remixable items, and demonstrated that by pulling out Twix bars that you can eat. So we ate Twixes! And someone said, oh yes, one of the pillars of Resonite. And they're talking about remixable items and how you can scan a Twix and then attach the eatable thing to it. So you can eat anything, and then you can give a Twix to your friend, and how cool Resonite is. And I was like, I mean, I get it, but I think Twix is an odd demonstration, but I'm on board. I'm here for it. It was just a strange choice, in my opinion. But that's one of the things we did during the night. And then someone said, oh, one of the pillars of Resonite, as they're like looking at the Twix, and we made the Twix moment an important one. And I said, no, now it's a pillar. And I took it and I made it vertical and giant and made it like a pillar off to the side that was holding up the roof. And it was one of the pillars of Resonite. And I felt like a god. That's silly. That's silly. It went really well, though. And at the end of the night, where we had bounced all over the place, and we talked about identity and being stuck in the present moment, and Spobe's stance on that was not being able to see in a middle distance where you're headed, and the path forward seems so covered with fog, all you can do is take individual steps in the moment to make sure that your footing is sound. And I was like, that is a special hell. I've been there before, and I don't know what to do about it. So that's cooking in the background, too, is what words do I apply when someone has that kind of specific challenge. And at the end of the night, I wanted us to walk away. I wanted myself to walk away with more than the, remixable items I do enjoy, but, the Twixes and then the YouTube algorithm. And there were parts of a conversation that were easier to dive into, and you could tell the entire room came alive. It was like, oh, the YouTube algorithm sucks, because everyone has something to say about that. But when you're talking about questions of identity of the heart as it relates to a virtual reality character, and then can you bring that into the real world? And then Soko's like, oh, well, of course you can. And then I was a little bit like, wait, can you? What does that mean? That's a harder conversation to dive into. So I went around and asked people, what would you take away from this conversation if there was any one thing you wanted to be able to keep from it? I'm busy. Overlay, I'm busy. I'm so busy. Stop. Bah. And everyone had a different answer. It was so cool. I'm pretty sure Fish said he was just happy to be here. Or just chillin'. I'm pretty sure he said something along those lines, because I know he always is. And I'm pretty sure, Fish, if you said something different, that's fine. Or if he said he might not be listening. If you're at work, I know you're at work, so whatever. But then we had Soko, who liked the experience generally speaking, and moments like the one we were having, which is just the organic listening to music, talking. It was an experience he had never had before. He said that a few times, and it's one of my favorite types of experiences. And the type of human interactions, you can meet all sorts of people. He loved that. Spobe didn't know, and his takeaway seemed to be wanting to be able to go back and ruminate on it, and he just had a lot to consider. I love it. I love it. It's so much fun. Let's see. Papaltine really liked, I think, mainly was like VR, acting as persona. I'm trying to remember what Palpatine's thing was, but everyone had a distinct take from it. And that was really cool. I don't know what I expected, but I loved that everyone got something different from the conversation, and it was a different piece that they wanted to keep within a little bit more, or the part that they would want to take away from it. And my entry was doing things offline, because I only ever want to film my experiences, because look at me, I'm a cat. I want more cat, and there's not enough. And I'm going to orient so you can see my pink side a little bit, right? That's so good. And now we're going to orient the other way, and I want to make sure you know I have a blue side as well. I'm just going to squiggle around. Got a squiggle. This is my blue side. They are both my good side, and this is my blue leg. I love it. And when you look like this, you want a camera. And when you have words like I do, you want a camera. It's all that you want to do. And being a cat, but taking the opportunity not to just project myself, but to operate in a moment and have an honest conversation with other actual people who themselves are wearing headsets and interacting in an actual honest way, discussing these not even quasi-pseudo, there was philosophies, just we were talking. It was a lovely time. It became a story that I wanted to tell quite firmly on stream. I just wanted to talk about this. And it informed my future, because I'm probably going to do that more frequently, realizing that I can just do that at any point. And these were all friends. There was only a couple of newcomers, but these are all people I love talking with, who all have something unique to say, and I get to learn more from the conversations that I have had. And it helped solidify my own position within myself, even. That I was being myself, and we were having a philosophical conversation, and I was being a cat, and it was a moment. It was a crisp moment. And there's not enough crisp moments. I had one of those recently for the Philosofur little conversation that we had, and I wanted to talk about that for a little bit. Then I want to talk also, in just a moment, we're going to go to a different part of the world. I also want to talk about how I found that mentality earlier that day on the bonus stream I did. I ended it. I was so happy with how I ended it specifically that I ended the night of conversation of philosophy also in that same way, enacted the principle I had uncovered earlier that day to tremendous effect. And I want to talk about that a little bit, both what came about more specifically, but then also what the mechanism was. I love my mechanisms. I love my mechanisms. I love them so much. I love them. This is so good. We have a mechanism today. Yes, it's my favorite thing. But I want to talk about the mechanism at play behind it, which itself would speak to an additional mechanism of archaeology of self. Yeah, maybe. Oh, that is such a day. That is such a day. Oh, that is such a day. Hand. That is such a good day. Oh my gosh, that's a good day. Oh, goodness gracious, I can't handle it. These are the pink backrooms for a day like this. What a day we have. It's a day for my coffee, and it's a day to take off grid view. Or, we had auto level on? No. It's a day for this. Yes! Ah! We got there, we got there. And stream still has 25 minutes. So we got there. We started off with, like, Phineas kind of updates. We had our introduction or whatever. And then I kind of you can kind of see, as the stream goes on, as the coffee kicks in, he becomes a little more animated. He becomes more alive. You learn more about what it is that you are when you're talking. It's so good. My coffee's up there, so I'm going to go get my coffee. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about how I ended stream, which bleeds into how I ended the philosophical night, or philosophy night. You got to pronounce it the right way. You can choose one or the other, not both. My philosophical night ended in line with how I ended the bonus stream yesterday. And then we're going to talk about what that all means, because that just sounds like a lot of fun to talk about, which again is a mentality thing, which is something that we lit upon during philosophy night. Real quick, I'll run through that before I go get my coffee and enact the remainder of the plan. Philosophy night, we spoke of attitude. And my question was, does the hero know he's the hero? And Spobe immediately was like, that's a good question. And then Soko had thoughts about that, and we went around, and it's just a mentality thing, because you can perform the actions of the hero, and whether or not he finds his actions to be heroic, he can be doing heroic things. Wonderful, we're on board. But I think if you carry the mentality of a hero within your own hero's journey, that has a lot of heft to it. If you're performing the actions that save the town or whatever, it's like, if I don't do this, people will die, and that's like a heroic thing to have to do. I'm the only one. Call to action. The hero. If you know that you're the hero and you carry in a hero mentality to it, I think also you carry in the hero responsibilities, the hero heft, the hero, I have to do this. It's such a big task. And if you approach the hero tasks from the casual lens, you are performing the same hero tasks, but without the hero responsibility and guilt about I'm not doing enough, I'm not fast enough, I'm not whatever, I'm not good enough. Like, no. If you approach the tasks casually, you are accomplishing the hero's requirements. You are accomplishing the requirements of a hero without the pain of heroism. We talked about that yesterday. So casually. It was so fun. And right now I'm going to be a hero by going to get my coffee. And then we'll talk about all the other stuff that I said. We would talk about Sir Turd of Bottom. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Okay, time for coffee. Because that's something a hero would do. The restriction of 1 hour, by the way, I think might actually be a good thing, because it's helping me. I have to be more structured, and I am working on something, a grander ambition within the daily addresses. We're cooking on it. It's gonna be cool. I swear it's gonna be cool. It's just taking some time, and 1 hour is enough because it must be 1 hour, and so it must be enough because it cannot be anything else. Do not be ungrateful for your 1 hour of kitty cat time, you dumb bitch. Wah. Wah. So, it's important to express it does not feel like enough. It is also important to recognize it cannot ever be enough. So shut up about it, dude. Focus on like, oh wow, kitty cat time all of the way in. Don't be like, wow, I only have an hour to like do this. And now I'm spending time worrying about it. And now I have less than 20 minutes. And I was worried I only had 20 minutes. And then I had to spend time saying, no, do not worry about that. You have enough time in the moment and be there, because it cannot be more than an hour. It cannot be more than it is. And by desiring a different shape to the object, you cannot appreciate the object. Get out of here. You can't examine it and experience it. And it's happening now. I don't care in the frame of life. Life is happening forever, and it feels like if I miss out on parts of life because I'm busy examining it and desiring other things, that's okay. I have enough life, I can live it later. I think that's a bad mentality, but that's something I tend to do. I think that's a human thing, something I want to correct for, but that's fine. I have limited cat time in my mornings. I want those to go as well as possible, but by measuring the cat time within the cat time, I am missing the cat time. Now, let's move on. I also didn't know that Doom was Victor's Doom. I did not realize that. Oh, winter. I'm a little bit warm, so we're going to winter. And the framing, I like being up. That's cute. I want this framing, and it's my daily address. I can have whatever framing I desire. So we're going to talk about hands. Hands, I'm busy. Hands, I must talk. Hands, I must speak. Yes. Aha. Yeah, we're here, baby. We are here, and look at how kitty cat I am. There is so much of me on the screen. This is the best framing in the world. This is what we need. Bonus stream yesterday. It was a day off. I was following Whimsy. I did not expect to be streaming up until 5 minutes before stream began. And those are some of my favorite streams. The most organic. It was 2.5 hours of being in Resonite. We did some Resonite things. I faffed about, had fun with the chat. I was in a Contacts Plus world, and I typically only ever stream from private worlds because I don't want to have to deal with people. So I was brave by doing it in a new way too. Trying new things, and then it just went really well. And the only part of that I feel like highlighting is the end of it. Because when it came to a close, I wanted to end it on kind of a nice note. I didn't want to just, okay guys, thanks for the stream, bye. I can do that on a daily address because we understand these are only an hour long. We know generally the shape of a daily address. It's fine. But it was a bonus stream, and I wanted the bonus stream to just package up real nicely. So it was 2.5 hours, it had kind of an arc. Where did it begin? What do I want to take away from it? What do you want to do? And it ended up being, thanks directly to Spob's encouragement, and I know that Spob watches these. Spob, you did a good job. When in chat, Spob said, he's gonna Phineas, all caps, because I was thinking for a little bit about how I wanted to end stream, and I was leaning towards, alright, we're just gonna, you know, bye guys, thanks for hanging out. I was leaning towards a hasty closeout. Spob, dear Spob, saw me thinking, and he's like, oh, he's loading the cannon. And I was like, God damn it. So then I had to load the cannon. Oh boy, did I load the cannon. It ended beautiful. Because I rarely glow myself up, and I'm not doing that now, but recently I've been working on that. Because no one's going to celebrate your successes if you do not celebrate your successes. So that's a little bit what I wanted to do, but then I scoped out about not just the success of any individual stream, but what about the successes did I feel was a success? That then felt not just like, oh, look at me go, wahoo. It's just kind of a small examination of what's been going well lately. I'm very enthused with the position I'm in. Let's examine that. And that's where I ended for the last probably 20 or 25 minutes of yesterday's bonus stream. Within that examination, I want to talk briefly about one specific part, which is I've had a hard time, and only recently am I getting better about not even name-dropping people, but just telling stories as though it doesn't matter. And so while I was on stream, I was talking about how that was a big moment for me, not worrying about anyone who was in attendance or talking in front of someone how much my video to them meant to me. And that's something I would have worried about tremendously not that long ago. And that specifically demonstrates what I was talking about in the first place. Because that's something I wanted to bring up, apparently wanted to bring up again, so I did right now. Because that's what I wanted in the moment. I trusted myself in the moment. These are the words which come to me. These are the words which exit. Because the ultimate piece of art is the expression of self. And a body of emotionality, send it. Whatever that is, send it. And I've been so pleased with that. And I spoke of being pleased with that. And then I walked away from it. I didn't try bundling it up. I didn't try packaging it into how do we apply it to the future, which is what I normally try to do. Instead, I just said, I'm happy with it. For these reasons, that's a lot of personal growth for me. And now we walk away, thanks for the stream. By cutting off the examination on a high point I was really pleased with, the high point remained. That was pretty cool. Totally accident, but cool. And it was kind of that same mentality I thought I would apply again to the philosophical discussion that we had last night over music in Sound Egg in Resonite. It was so fun. Was at the end of a night, what could we take away from it? to help it linger a little bit and have it be more of an impactful moment for all of us, ideally, but even just for myself. And then everyone had unique and specific takes on it that I wouldn't have imagined because I have a hard time seeing outside of myself. It was really fun watching in that moment, Sound Deck last night, the growth arc of that thought. Because I've made videos recently I'm proud of because I've been expressing myself and trusting myself to express myself. That knowledge and comfortability in following that side quest led to additional pieces of trusting myself, which led to last night where I was basically moderating a discussion of philosophy among friends and ended it on a really powerful note. I think for everyone had a cool time, but then also for me, it was impactful enough that most of today's daily address was directly informed by last night and the philosophical conversation that we had, which was informed by the bonus stream I did, which was informed by the videos that I did, and seeing that side quest, that story arc within myself was marvelous. It was so cool, and it felt like the time I've had often when you're losing weight and you notice a different muscle definition, or your shirt fits better. A while ago, I was able to button up a jacket that I've never been able to button up in my life. And it's those moments that you realize you are making growth and progress, even though every day it's incremental. So small you can't see it. And last night, I witnessed that arc. I saw I've lost enough spiritual weight or whatever. Change has taken place. It was a really cool moment. And that was something I wanted to highlight. I forgot why, but I wanted to say it, and so I did. This is becoming chonker. And stream's gonna be done soon. It's been already almost an hour. How? I have so much more to say and so much more cat to be. How? No. Only 1 hour? Are you kidding me? I can't keep this up. Yes, I can. No, I can't. Yes, I can. Because there's things to do. I have things to do, people. I have things to do. It's gonna be okay, though. It's gonna be okay. We'll get there. Careful what you say or I'll start waking you up at my first alarm clock at 5:45 for you. That doesn't give me more time, Fish. It would, but that would just be more time to pack. The dumb fish reminded me, oh hey, how does it feel to have 3 weeks minus a day? 20 days, thank you. Arithmetic. How does it feel to have that much time to pack everything and ship it to me? And I was like, well, it felt better before you said it. So, after this, I gotta treat all of these videos because I am working on something bonus that I think is going to be really cool with all of this. And then I sorted out my books, and today I want to sort out some of the clothes and get rid of some of like the closet stuff. Or maybe break down the bookcase, because that's a really visual representation of my move and being ready for it. I guess I'll do the clothes, though, because then I get a pile of bags of clothes I'm donating, and that's also visually I can see the progress I'm making. In either case, it's going to be probably listen to this, actually. No, I do that on the bike rides to work. I'll see. We'll figure it out. It's going to be groovy. So I think we're going to lay on the floor. Which is good because Coyote suggested that we lay on the floor yesterday on the Resonite stream, and then I spent an hour, trying to get to that point, and I never got to it. So we're going to lay down on the floor right now, because we only have, like, what, 10? Less than 10 minutes? How? Ladies and gentlemen, how? This cannot be. We're gonna roll around, and I'm gonna take advantage of the fact that this is, Resonite in the future is now to, like, zoom out, because I can just be a drama boy. For the audio inclined, I am messing around with the camera placement and not doing a very good job. So much drama energy, because it's not enough time. And then you complain about it on stream, and then your boyfriend's like, I will wake you up earlier so you have more time. And it's like, no, Because life is just being life still, and it's totally fine. But 1 hour? Ah, no! And something I might want to pay respect to. And this framing, I don't actually love a ton, but we're sticking to it. We stick to our guns. But we are this framing, so I can, like, cross my leg, and it looks, you know, kind of cute a little bit. We go with it. We're done fiddling too much, because this is how I want to end out the stream, apparently. I don't know that I have felt today as much as a cat as I would typically like to be. I have, however, felt tremendously like me. I tried making my hands work and they did not, so we'll hold the controllers, it's fine. And part of why I like being in VR chat so much is because it feels like me. I look around, my arms feel better, I see my leg, if I can see my leg, but I decided to lay down instead or whatever. I didn't spend very much time today looking at myself. And I was so busy talking about my philosophies and the moment that I had and the growth I've been on. And I still don't know what to do with any of that. I like being here because it feels like me, but I like being here because I like seeing the representation of me. And you can't be and see. Earlier today, literally earlier this stream, I said, you can't witness it and measure it, and I like doing all of it on a stream at the same time. But this one was a lot more talking about it and less time watching it. I don't know. And watching it on the TV is lovely. Usually I listen to it, so I might watch this one a little bit more when I'm editing it, is something I would say if I had more time. It's just fascinating to demand of myself to spend more time in VR chat, giving a daily address. This time is so important to me. And the mentality seems to be shifting a little bit. Because I did not spend as much time marveling of my form as a cat as I would typically like to, but I could not, nor would I have chosen to operate the stream any differently, because I'm also very pleased with all of the words that I've said. A daily address is important and limited, and as I've been speaking more of my thoughts, which inspire myself, have come from other people's words which have inspired me, some of those words I did inspire myself. I can't possibly use my words any less. Probably so what that means is I'm going to end out stream and just still spend a little bit of time as a cat in some capacity. I don't know what it's going to look like, but it's important to feel like me, and I think today on stream, I was me? To the point that I was unable to feel like me. I wasn't feeling, I was just doing. I don't know about that. I don't know what that means. Because they say, just do it. Just do it. I think Donald Glover? He's the community guy, right? I think he said the only difference between me and all y'all is I'm just doing it and other people talk about it or think about it or wish that they could. And I do think that today I was doing it so hard that I wasn't feeling it. And is that what people mean when they say stop and smell the flowers, blah, 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 blah. And in my case, would smelling the virtual flowers look like spending less time talking and spending, say, 20 minutes on a daily address, oh, just looking at me? But I don't know, because being in a mirror doesn't hit quite the same way as, like, looking down. Ah, looking at me. Ah, I don't know. I don't know. And I'll cook on that. I'll chew on that, because I have an entire day to chew on it until tomorrow's daily address. And in keeping with the theme we just learned, what I think I want to chew on is, I don't know, the doing versus laying witness to and feeling. And it seems like a daily address is the wrong time to feel like a cat because it's important to be a cat. But I think also on a daily address is when it's important to demonstrate how one feels, which is an emotional demonstration opposed to perhaps a more intellectual one, where I'm talking about the things I'm excited to talk about. I think it's also important on a stream to feel the things you're excited to feel about. I'm not positive, but I kind of like it. And I would like to actually close out by being grateful for the 1 hour that I did have as my kitty cat time. I do look down now, cross-legged, crisscross applesauce, and I'm pretty pleased with being crisscross applesauce. So that's going to be stream, and I got to go because I got to treat the stream. I got to treat the VOD because we're going for something here, and it's going to be great, and good things are on the way. And so that is, that's the stream. Thank you guys for hanging out, as always. Thanks for hanging out. Good things are on the way. We had our morning. We were so happy with it, and we shall continue being happy with it to the end of our days. I don't know. It's just, this is a good time. These are the good times. Remember, we uncovered that, I think, in the last daily address. It's happening now. These are the times we will look back on so fondly. And so I want to operate every single moment of these times as though the moment of times were also fond. I think most of that today was that, because I was just following along with me, baby. And you're always going to be happy with that, no matter what it looks like. It was a good time, and today was a good time. So I'm going to go. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I have a lot to do today, so we're going to go do those good things. Bye-bye.